Hey friends, it's Dimitri with Nebraska Streetwear. The other day I was watching a really nice interview from a guy who runs a pretty large athletic clothing company, and it's someone I look up to in the clothing space, and I really like his brand. And one thing that he said was the two biggest barriers to starting a clothing brand, a product business essentially, and he said it was self-confidence and money. So those are the two huge barriers that a lot of people face, and there's a lot to be said about the self-confidence part, and I'll probably make a video about that in the future. But right now I want to talk about the money issue. So a lot of you starting out, you might be in a situation where you simply do not have money to start your brand. But I will tell you one thing. You don't need a lot of money to start your brand. That's just a myth. You need a lot of money in order to grow and expand fast. That's what you need. But to actually start a brand and start getting it going, you do not need a lot of money. I will tell you that when I started at like a bare bones, bootstrapped budget, I was probably in around $500. So I spent around $330, somewhere around there, for the inventory. I got a really small batch of t-shirts with a one color, one print, on the t-shirt. I bought some poly mailers. I got a free trial on Shopify for that month to at least get the website running. I bought the bags to hold the t-shirts in, and I could have and should have gotten logo stickers made at the time. I think I would have been able to squeeze that in. And then other than that, you got the mailer, you got the bag to hold the t-shirt, you got the t-shirt, right, and a sticker. Those are the main components. And then, for the shipping label, you can print that out on a piece of paper and tape it on there, or you can buy those printable labels that you can put in your printer. You don't need to get like a Dymo 4x6 label printer right away. You don't need any of that, at least when you start out, if you don't have any money. You really can take photos on your cell phone and tweak them. You can get a free trial of Adobe software, Photoshop, for a month. There's a lot of stuff that you can do, and I've made other videos in the past. You can borrow cameras from your school or from a friend if you need it. You can have some friends help you out, taking some nice product shots with them wearing the clothing items, and maybe you can give them a t-shirt for free for helping you out. You have to be creative when you're starting a clothing brand and do that kind of stuff. And yes, will your profit margin be extremely small the first time you do it? I think it will be, because it's your first time starting a brand and you don't have a lot of room to wiggle around. But your main goal is to try it out and see if you can get that small batch of inventory that you have, and you need to get rid of it. And what I mean by get rid of it is you need to sell it so that you can reinvest that money and get another batch of t-shirts with a new design or something like that. So you have to be really scrappy and really thoughtful when you start out, and you really don't need a lot of money. If you just follow the recipe I gave you for around $500, you can do it. You can do a first clothing drop with a really small batch size, and you can sell those off, and you can make a tiny little profit and reinvest that back in. Now, once you start to build up an audience, and that's the other thing, you can build up an audience for free. I did this for several years. I would literally comment, message people on social media. They would follow the page, they would buy a t-shirt. That happened. I did that sort of guerrilla marketing for years to build up an audience. I didn't spend any money on ads when I first started out, and I didn't know how to anyways. So really, you need to be a little bit creative, you need some ingenuity, and you really need to put in a lot of work up front if you do not have any money. If you are very fortunate and you have, let's say that you have a parent and they really believe in you, and maybe your dad or someone or your uncle is into business and they know these things and they're willing to give you a shot, they give you some money up front and they kind of help you get going, that's much easier to start a brand when you have that. When you have like a nest egg of some money, Of course, there are pitfalls and problems with that as well, and that's a whole nother discussion. You know, if you get a windfall and you just got a ton of money, you can totally blow it and screw it up. When you start out with a little bit, you're more careful, you're more thoughtful, and you're more creative with the money that you're using. So yeah, if you do not have any money, you can definitely start a brand. And each clothing drop that you do, let's say like you make a t-shirt, it sells out, a couple months later you have a really cool new design and people are like, hey, this is cool, I want to get the next one. You do that. Each clothing drop you do and you make a little bit of profit, you just take that profit and you get a little piece of equipment, or you get a better blank, or you know, maybe the next print you do is more complicated and it has 3 colors or embroidery, stuff like that. You just keep reinvesting it back in and keep growing it, and that's what's going to help you to start your brand and grow it. Now, one other piece of advice too is you need to be hustling on your day job, and you need to cut back on other expenses that you have, because you need to take that money and invest it into the business that you're trying to build on the side. So it's going to be a tremendous amount of work, time, and energy to get things going. Usually a lot of people, you know, most people don't just start a business out of the blue. You know, they quit their day job and start it and it's successful. A lot of people, they take a side hustle and a little gig that they're doing on the side and they grow that into their business. That's usually what happens, and that's probably what a lot of you are trying to do right now. So whatever job that you have right now, you need to be trying to get a raise, trying to get a promotion, working extra hours. Maybe you need to switch your job to get a higher paying job. You need to be hustling like crazy, because that is your bank to invest in your business. When you're starting out and you're a nobody and you don't have a line of credit or nothing, you don't really have access to money. That's why it's difficult but possible to start a clothing brand with a little bit of money. And obviously you get that money through your day job, through, you know, saving money, and that is how you grow a clothing brand with just a little bit amount of money. It is possible, it's just difficult, and you have to be really patient. If you have more money up front and you know what you're doing, it is faster to grow and to succeed. But if you do not have a lot of money, it's just going to take a little bit longer. Be patient, but you will get there if you're doing the right moves. Now, you can do all of that and you know, simply do not have any artistic ability. You don't have the actual skills to make a brand. You don't have any design skills. So you have to make the right moves. That's the other point. You know, some people are cut out to do it and some people are simply not. And the people that are not, you know, unfortunately, some people haven't told them that they're not. And the market will decide whether or not your brand is cool and viable, and whether or not people want to buy into it and support you so your brand can keep growing and flourishing. So hopefully that was some advice for you guys. If you're feeling like you can't do it, you can. I did it. Lots of people did it. You just have to be patient and you have to work really hard. So if you got any value of this video, or if you have any comments or questions, you can leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.